Wemby has finally made it to the United States after leading his team to the LNB Pro Finals. The only question regarding his immediate future is whether he'll play in the Summer League for the San Antonio Spurs. He'll be the No. 1 overall pick after finishing second in France's top league in scoring, first in rebounding and shot blocking, and making 54 threes as a 7'5" 19-year-old. San Antonio is on the verge of pairing a 5-position defender in Jeremy Sochan with an elite shot blocker who'll double as both the team's rim protector and No. 1 scoring option. San Antonio had transformational talent before, such as Tim Duncan. It's not just his offensive ability that makes him special. He can really handle it. He can shoot it with range, but his length and agility as a defender is truly game-changing. Keep in mind that he played the same division as Rudy Gobert in France. Gobert played like 27 games in my knowledge, and Wemby played 34, and he blocked over 50 more shots than Gobert. Keep in mind that Gobert earned a Defensive Player of the Year award. His impact is going to be profound on the court. Brandon Miller is now regarded as the league's favorite to defeat the Charlotte Hornets. While it appears that they've struggled to decide whether Miller or Scoot Henderson is the best prospect available, the former's better fit and shooting make him the safer choice. We reported after the combine that members of Charlotte front office saw Miller as a star-caliber wing. Meanwhile, scouts in Chicago speculated that Henderson had been crowned the clear consolation prize to Victor Wembanyama too soon. It's reasonable that Charlotte would be cautious to acquire a 6'2" ball-dominant, limited shooter to combine with LaMelo Ball. Scouts, on the other hand, adore Miller's archetype as a 6'9" shot maker and live dribble passer. The only question mark is his defensive ability. In the top 50 defensive teams Alabama played against, he did not perform well. While his numbers are significantly higher than the lesser defensive teams that Alabama played against. With the third pick, the Trail Blazers would most likely select Scoot Henderson out of the G League Ignite program. He has some injury issues, 2 separate concussions this year. The question is his three-point shooting. In my opinion, he is very explosive. He is not just a playmaker himself, he can also make plays for others. Given how impossible it is to see a rotation of Scoot Henderson, Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, and Shaedon Sharpe, the Charlotte Hornets picking Brandon Miller will fuel additional trade speculation around the No. 3 pick. Any potential trade request would certainly draw attention to Lillard. The Blazers could potentially shop Simons and persuade Henderson to play more of a facilitator role, relieving some of the weight off Lillard as he enters his 30s. With the number 4 pick, the Houston Rockets would most likely select Amen Thompson. According to new information, the Houston Rockets have been debating between Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore, although the former has the upper hand in the best player available debate. His playmaking and defense are his strongest assets. The question is whether the Rockets believe in James Harden's comeback or are ready to overpay to keep him. With Jalen Green and Thompson, who is considerably more useful on the ball than as a wing, his addition would create an interesting logjam. At this point, we'll stick with Houston ignoring fit because it's impossible to predict how free agency will play out. In any case, Thompson will provide Houston with a much-needed backup quarterback to Green. With the number 5 pick, the Detroit Pistons would most likely select Jarace Walker. He is more of a catch-and-shoot guy and is very good along the baseline. He is big, strong, and he could also block shots. He is an excellent rebounder and offensive rebounder. His athletic profile fits the NBA. He also has an opportunity to become a playmaker since he has the want to find his teammates, and I think that really matters to a team like Detroit since they got Cunningham and Ivy and those are guys that like to create. So adding Jarace at the 4 position, whether he is playing at the mid-post area, I think that is the area he has a lot of potential. Although Jarace Walker appears to be stuck within the number 5 to 9 bracket, the Pistons may prefer his fit, versatility, and anticipated preparedness over Ausar Thompson's higher peak. Walker's ability to shoot threes, attack closeouts, and pass off live dribbles may appeal to the Pistons as a complementary skill set to pair with Jalen Duren. Between Duren, Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren, and James Wiseman, General Manager Troy Weaver has a recent history of drafting/acquiring prospects with A+ physical builds. If not Walker, then Ausar Thompson makes more sense than his twin brother, Ammon, but moving out for a quality NBA starter may be the better option. With the number 6 pick, the Orlando Magic would most likely select Ausar Thompson. They are areas in his games that which he is solid and a foundation to the Magic. The question mark for me is how do they play when they are separated? The two of them have incredible chemistry together. Ausar is more at ease playing on the perimeter and is the superior shooter of the Thompson twins. He is a strong defender who can cover a variety of positions on the court, just like his brother. He loves to play above the rim and is incredibly energetic in transition. How well he cuts off the ball and gets to his areas is the most underappreciated aspect of his game. With multiple picks and a talented draft class, the Magic can afford to take a swing on Thompson and what he projects as a future guard in the league. With the number 7 pick, the Indiana Pacers would most likely select Taylor Hendricks. He is a terrific catch-and-shoot player. He's got great athleticism, and he is an offensive rebounder. He is one of the guys I think that could fit the NBA with his stretch of defense. The 19-year-old appears to be the top 3 and D forward prospect in the draft, and the Pacers need to improve their shooting and defense. Teams anticipate Indiana to be active in trade negotiations as they search for a veteran and decide what to do with selections 26, 29, and 32. With the number 8 pick, the Washington Wizards would most likely select Anthony Black. His ability to create shots will help the Washington Wizards a lot. He is also a very good defender. He is not one of these crazy elite athletes with his freaky length. His arms go about to his size, but he makes plays defensively. One of the things you like about him with his athletic profile is that he's got a great lower base. Black has a ton of potential as a two-way guard, especially given the way he sees the court and perceives the defense as the primary ball handler. Black might end up being one of the more effective guards in this excellent draft class because the Wizards appear to be entering rebuild mode after moving Bradley Beal and probably not receiving Chris Paul in return. With the number 9 pick, the Utah Jazz would most likely select Cam Whitmore. He is an elite athlete with an NBA body and unbelievably strong, and attacks the rim since it shows in his stats that 65% of his shots are from the rim. He is a good defender, so he could guard multiple spots. There have been some issues with Cam Whitmore's medicals, which, according to insiders, may cause some teams to pass in the middle of the lottery. The Jazz or others may want to take advantage of this chance to get a player who is just 18 years old and who hasn't displayed any signs of an injury limiting his explosiveness this season. The Jazz are anticipated to use their 3 first-round picks to investigate various trade options. With the number 10 pick, the Dallas Mavericks would most likely select Derek Lively II. I think that Derek Lively is huge since the Mavs struggled with defense, and that was something that Luka Doncic has talked about in a post-game interview, like our offense isn't a problem, and Derek Lively solves that problem. He can guard on the perimeter, he can guard on the inside. After displaying his increased motor and three-point shot during his pro day with Clutch Sports, Lively became one of the greatest draft risers. If the Mavericks decide to maintain this pick, they can employ his 7'7" wingspan for rim protection and won't necessarily need to rely on him offensively because they already have Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. During his lone season at Duke, Lively averaged just 5.2 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 2.4 blocks per 20 minutes.